Let's talk about something we all deal with. We're going to dive into a story today, a simple one, but it really gets to the heart of our most valuable and honestly most easily lost resource, time.
All right, let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. How many times have you looked at something important, something you know you need to do, and just thought, I'll do it later? It feels harmless, right? But later, later can cost you more than you think. So our story is about two guys who were best friends when they were kids. But life happens and their paths went in totally different directions. One of them grew up to become this incredibly wise and generous king. The other, he stayed poor, and he spent most of his time just complaining about how unfair life was. One day, the king, seeing how unhappy his old friend was, decided to give him an absolutely life-changing opportunity. He said, "Listen, go to my royal treasury. I want you to take as much gold, as many jewels, anything you can physically carry, it's all yours. But there was one catch. A big one." He said, "You have to do it before the sun sets."
I mean, can you imagine an unbelievable offer? The friend was, of course, ecstatic, but on his way to the palace, a thought crossed his mind. You know what? There's plenty of time. I'm going to go home and have a really nice meal first. And he didn't just eat, he really took his time with it.
And you know what happens after a big meal, right? That sleepiness starts to creep in. He glanced up at the sun, saw it was still pretty high in the sky, and thought, a quick nap would be perfect. It'll give me the energy I need to carry all that treasure. So he laid down and just drifted off into this deep, comfortable sleep. Well, hours passed. When he finally woke up, the sun was just beating down. He started walking towards the palace, but man, it was hot. And what was his excuse this time? Whoa, it's way too hot for this. I'll just rest here under this shady tree until things cool down a bit. And so he waited again. And that rest under the tree, it turned into another nap. When he finally opened his eyes for the second time, he got a jolt. The whole sky was on fire with the colors of a late afternoon. The light was fading, and it was fading fast.
Okay, now the panic hits. For real this time. He scrambles up and just starts running as fast as he can toward the palace. He can see the huge treasury doors up ahead, his heart is just pounding, and he's racing against the last rays of sunlight, getting there just as that final sliver of the sun vanishes completely.
He stumbled up to the doors, his hands shaking, and he pushed. Nothing. He pushed again. They wouldn't move an inch. They were locked up tight.
He was too late. That meal, that nap, that little rest in the shade, every single small delay, every I'll do it later had added up, and the single greatest opportunity of his entire life was gone. Just like that, forever.
So this isn't just some old story, right? It's a mirror for our own lives. Think about it. The king's gold, that's not just treasure. It's your goals, your dreams, your biggest opportunities. And that sunset, well, that's the one deadline none of us can escape. It's time, and it's always, always running out. Look, the lesson here is so simple, but it's also incredibly profound. Time is the most valuable thing you have. It's the only thing you spend that you can never, ever get back. Every moment you waste putting things off, it's like you're willingly leaving that gold behind in the treasury.
And I want you to really let this sink in, because this isn't a fairy tale. When you choose that little bit of comfort right now over the hard work you know you need to do, when you rest when you should be working, the doors to some of life's greatest opportunities really can, and they really will, lock on you.
So I want to leave you with a question. Think about your own royal treasury. What are your biggest dreams, your most important goals? What's the one important task, the one step toward them that you keep putting off? What will you stop delaying, starting today? Really think about that. Carry that question with you. And remember the story of that sunset. Your treasury is waiting. And right now, the sun is still up.